So I was having this conversation the other day. I'm not ready to bring everybody else in, right? It's gonna be wicked. So after church, I go to a friend's house and we're having a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't say of my relation to them because I don't want to put them out there.
Okay. I mean, anonymity is good. Yeah.
Sure. But it gets really wild, right?
Mm-hmm.
A conversation gets really wild. And it gets wild because of the whole mindset of abuse.
Okay.
Someone's into this relationship and they don't even know that they're abused.
Okay.
And I think that that's where the rubber meets the road when people are into stuff and they don't know that they're abused. Let me bring up this little sister here. Hey, lady, what's going on?
Besides looking like I just,
You look like you just
Look,
look
those,
like you look like you
come
just
on.
you look
Look,
like
Sade, you and me, but
oh shoot.
I
yeah, but I was like, when I came on, I said, "Oh, I look like Celie, right?"
Hey, see,
No, but
you know,
take me off. I'm gonna come back. Take me
no,
off.
no, 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 no,
No. You
Because
look
isn't it
beautiful.
amazing that back in '85, I don't think you were born yet. Back in '85, when were you born? When were you born?
86.
Oh my gracious. '85, the movie came out, right? '85. I was a junior in high school. And that's why you could be my kid.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
Um,
early start, but yeah.
well, I've there's been earlier. Okay. And that was painted as ugly to us.
It was, yeah.
And it's amazing how time has changed where we were taught to love what they don't love.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, when I see you in that little with your little do right now, in my mind, I'm like, oh snap, she just changed the babies. oh,
Look,
oh
not
snap.
her own. She got hers and masses.
Come
Right,
on, come on. I said, oh snap, you didn't finish cooking?
right. Listen, I am new to the lock community, and I work out every day, so I have to braid and bend so they don't come loose. So, hey y'all,
I got you. A perfect here. A perfect here.
hey
A,
Mina,
a perfect here. A
Mina,
she did it like she was in praise. She was like praising. Look,
Mina, what you eating?
I was about to say, Mina got
oh, you
caught.
eating? Oh, you eating?
I'm eating and working. So I was like
Oh,
literally backstage listening to the conversation and doing this report. So I wasn't like, hey y'all, how y'all doing? Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
That was so fake. Mina like, it's
All
all right, honey. Fake it till fake.
Inside, I feel like a roaring bear
Mm.
at a tree, like "Arr."
man, boy, just keep hold on to that energy until like 11.
No.
Look,
That
where's,
is not
where's the blue
um,
glove?
Dr. Graham, that is not good energy to have.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
But I see where you're going, and it could be for a split second, but that needs to be like in that moment. I can't go into that space like that.
I understand. I understand. You got to be wooed into that space where I'm just like, hit me over the head with a bark a tree. I'm good. I'm in.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Ooh,
I see this, but the conversation started out really nicely when
Yo,
you and
silly.
Leah.
Yo, hold up.
that's a
I'm
little
sorry, Leah.
polish.
Leah and hold on. Leah and Amina, hold on a second. What you said, Silly? What you say?
Wow.
What?
Is this how we move tonight? Just let me know if this is how we moving tonight. Please, let me know.
Oh my goodness. Oh my
Don't
goodness.
be massa. Don't be.
Oh, no, sir.
Wes, don't come on here.
I don't know what I'm walking
Don't
into,
say
but
that.
I don't want no
Don't
part of that.
Say
And I'm admiring the natural beauty this evening.
okay. Good
So,
way
you
to
know what
hear.
I'm saying? There's a glow. You know what I'm saying? I'm appreciating it. Look, Pat, don't. I ain't trying to get shot up in here because I feel like I felt like I walked into some crossfire.
Listen, Quest, before you came in, the scene that came through my mind was when she was sharpening the razor. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
that was the
Oh,
scene.
yeah.
So don't
Oh,
be
yeah.
massa
Oh
tonight.
yeah, please.
Listen,
I refuse to be him.
Yo, where's Silly? She finna shave, Mister.
Mhm.
You know what's funny? I read the book before watching the movie,
Mhm.
and
Different.
I was like, "Oh, there's so much that was left out of
Left
this.
out.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes.
So
Oh
much
yeah.
that was left, like dynamics of relationships and
Mhm.
all the
Mhm.
things." I was just like, "Wow,
All the things.
All the
yeah,
things. All the lady things.
Mm,
right."
mm.
Because yeah, I mean, they
They didn't,
alluded to it, but
yeah,
now,
they didn't tell the full story of her relationship with this woman.
yeah,
And I think that it wasn't a sexual relationship that she had. She comforted her.
Yep.
Mm.
It was it was the point where maybe we don't say it as men because we don't come off like that. I mean, I'm sorry, the way I grew up. I'm sorry. But a woman can easily become intimate with another woman based on the care for each other.
hmm
And
Mhm.
and and I don't know if that's the way God made it. I ain't saying it's right, wrong, or indifferent, but the way that the book, I'm sorry, portrayed it, it was like she needed somebody.
Yeah, they
yeah,
were emotionally connected.
Yeah,
hmm
she needed
I mean,
somebody.
women relationships are very different, and I'm speaking from like a platonic kind of platform. I'm not talking same sex. I'm just talking about when you find like your person in a woman,
Hmm.
that connection is one of the sweetest things, and I don't think men could ever
And
understand that.
and I
yep.
think especially when we have that connection with the woman, that softness, that to where I can be fully myself, full like, and when I say naked, I do mean like I can be any and everything, and it's a safe
Mhm.
place to where I'm not being judged, I'm not being criticized. It's just this is just Sade, and this is
Can,
just how it goes.
can I be honest? Can I be
Speak,
honest? I'm being
speak.
transparent. A couple of years back, I had to tell a particular woman that we can't be friends.
Really?
And why was
And
that
and
question?
I'm not saying that like she was like this, she was good looking, but it wasn't the good looks per se.
hmm
We can't be friends because we connect
hmm
in a way that I don't connect with
Nobody
no
else?
human being. The conversations were like that. And I
So,
was
so,
like,
so,
no,
so you couldn't be
I can't.
friends. You couldn't be friends with a woman. You can be tight friends with a woman and
I
and
could be. I mean, in this stage of my life, I can. A couple of years ago, let's say year 4 of being married, year 5, maybe year 4, somewhere around there, where we're still developing our intimacy. Like if you ask me, we're at a very high place. Me and Faith are at a very high place. We can have conversations that extend. It's amazing to me where God will allow you to grow if you let Him just nurture your marriage or your relationship, right? But back
Mm.
then, I was like, yeah, no. Mm. Because there's something. I think who was it that just said it? Mina, I think, just said it. Like once the women just have this, because there's not a male that I know that I could even talk to that way. I
hmm
don't even know, not even my father. I don't know no male that I can connect with on that level that way. Right. And
well,
I don't know if it's because we're not built that way,
mhm.
but like for real, this particular person, we used to have these conversations and there was a certain level of solace, bro. And I
But
was like,
Chris,
yep,
you
nope.
must be built that way if you can do it with a woman.
Of course.
So it's not
Well,
that
well,
you're built that way,
yeah.
right? Choose not to be that open and vulnerable with another man. And
Yep.
so it begs the question as to, right, what is that apprehension?
Yep.
Listen,
but I also think women, we converse differently.
They do.
And so like I've had a friend where we were friends for years. He got married and he was like, I didn't realize how intimate our conversations were until I had to have those kind of conversations with my wife. And our conversations weren't intimate in the way we think. It was just like I would ask those questions and like I want to probe your mind and I want to bring this to your attention. And he was like, I didn't realize men don't ask those kind of questions. The whys, like, so
So,
what's this and
so
all of
okay, so let me ask you this before we get into something that I want to bring to y'all attention.
Mhm.
How far is too far? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, I have 4 friends who are girls. 4. My wife knows about these 4 women who are my friends, right? I can honestly say that I don't have issues, but when does it get too far?
My rule is always if I can't have the conversation in front of your wife, we shouldn't be having it.
Love
That
it.
part.
Love it. That's fair. That's fair.
Or if
That's
I'm
fair.
thinking about you a little bit too much.
Okay.
Yeah, but she ain't in my mind.
No.
So you got to be. So that means you got to be real about it.
Too much. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I like what Patricia just
Ooh,
said.
David and
Jonathan.
Yeah.
That was real.
Mm-hmm.
That relationship was real. That relationship
Oh,
was
yeah.
real.
Mm-hmm.
I will say when intimacy replaces that with your spouse, because you could have intimate conversation and not be sexually intimate.
That's a fact.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
I believe that there was this guy that was telling his wife this, that because you're not messing around with someone or you're not touching each other or even speaking about certain things doesn't mean I can't tell the admiration that you have from over me.
Mm.
And that's real. That's definitely real.
Yeah. Can I also just say, like, there are some of us who have this emotional intimacy that we talk with this person, right? Because it goes for women too. So I could ask that question, like, how far is it for a married woman to have a friend with a male? When we start discussing marital issues regularly, like that to me is like if I'm on the other side and that's coming and I'm not your therapist, okay, what are we doing here? Like, let's set some boundaries real quick because I got to protect you and me.
But sometimes you. But
So wait, meaning my
see me-
question.
You and me.
Okay, now that's clear. The only thing. Listen, you're gonna get a kickback from me until you just said and me.
Paul, pull a mic up. You sound muffled.
Sorry, Doc. Well, I appreciate when you just said and me, because what you're saying is the boundaries got nothing just to do with you.
Nope.
It also has to do with yourself.
Yes.
And I'm gonna say this, right.
Well,
And,
Pete, the boundaries got to do with
But
me before it
boundaries
do
are
with
for
anybody
you.
else.
Boundaries are for you.
Okay.
Because you can only enforce
what
what you can control, and the only person you can control is you.
Right.
Okay.
So then I have a question, Mina, because this was a topic of conversation.
Get her.
No, it's not a getter. I'm asking.
Where my gloves?
Because so I was having a conversation and someone brought up, like, I have a best friend, right? And she and I talk about everything. And the question was like, but should you all have boundaries about what you all talk about just because you're 2 women and you talk about like marital issues, relationship issues? Should that be a universal truth, or could it be like, yo, my male friends don't know this, but my female friends, we should? Because if I'm gonna be honest, the things I share with my best friend probably break a lot of like social norms.
Your best friend as a
So
female.
the
or your best friend
the female
Let me just
best
clap that up real quick. Praise God.
the first thought that comes to mind is like non-Christian, non-clinical Armina is like, yo, people are trifling, right? So again, I'm always going to protect me and mine. So yes, I may be in a vulnerable state. If I am in that deep of a state, I need to find a therapist to talk to. Because I never know if me and this friend falls out, you have all my secrets in your bag, boo. Like, what you gonna do with that? And
But
let's
if
just
we
say
lead in our relationships, though, with that thought process, like leading with mistrust in any relationship, right? With our female friends, our male friends, and even our mates. I always say I never want to give the next person a flux because somebody else jacked up.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so I'm not
Mhm.
leading with that trust that is due them until they break, right? That
So
trust.
I'm with you 99.9%, my girl, my social worker, LMS together. I have this thing where I give people a rope and you can do whatever you want to do with that rope. But the minute that you choke yourself with that rope,
Oh, and that's what I'm
that's the
saying, right? But you go into it
yes. But
open, right?
my past experience, and this is a part of me that I'm working on, is my the way I attach and connect with people, because I've been hurt so much that I'm like, okay, I'm gonna close my eyes and walk into this situation and pray to God I don't get hurt. But my experience have led me to being hurt because I've been in some vulnerable spaces and people have taken advantage of that. So that's that 1% that I don't agree with that on. But I'm still working on that so that I could be able to find that one friend that I could tell everything to. Now, I'm gonna tell you, there are times where I want to share, but then it's like that anxiety in me of like, if I share this, what's going to happen? Not that and I don't
Yes.
think it has anything to do with the trusting the person. It just has to be with where I am in life.
But how do we? How do you keep? How does one keep getting in situations where they present as vulnerable? How does that keep happening? If you've been through it once, that's the lesson. How do I continue to go through this? Okay, if I don't know what we're talking about, but I'm just listening.
No, man. No, no,
If
no,
we
no,
if
no,
we're
no,
talking
no.
about
You
if we're
got this.
talking about here's one way to protect yourself. We're talking about who not to talk to and whatever. I think the Bible says it. Don't let your right hand know what your left hand doing.
My.
Don't let your right hand know what
In,
your left hand doing.
in
So
what
in
case,
other
bro?
In
words,
what context, though? What is that context?
in this context, if
Then we
I
should all get off of
if
this.
I
Let's
if
just
I am
well
I'm trying
end the
to tell you
life, right?
if what I'm okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Go
No,
ahead.
I couldn't hear myself. I'm trying to hear what she was saying. I was
No, no.
trying to explain it. I can't hear.
Go ahead because I'm gonna lean a little bit with I'm gonna lean on Armina a little bit. Go ahead. You should not let the left hand know what the right hand doing.
You need to be careful what you share, okay, to anybody, family members, pastors, um, people who are you who consider friends and associates, because I guarantee you it will be used against you later if you guys fall out, or if somebody, even if you don't fall out, your business is going to be told, you know, uh, like it's going to be circulating, especially in these church circles. Your business will circulate. And when people who are not licensed, okay, people who are not licensed, okay, who are bound by confidentiality, don't have your information, good luck in keeping that secret.
Can I
Okay.
say something real quick
Wait,
though?
can I just respond?
Yeah. Let her respond.
Let me get my list. Go ahead.
Let her respond. Let her respond. Go ahead.
So I
Oh, you
agree
loving
with
this,
what
Leah,
you're
ain't you, Leah? You're
saying,
loving this,
Terry.
Leah, ain't you?
But I think that for me, this is Armina speaking now, that rule applies in different situations. In my marriage, my right hand is going to know what my left hand is doing. Because that, to me, Armina, that's what I agreed upon. So in my marriage, there's no holds bars. That scripture that you quoted doesn't apply to my marriage. But
And I
every
wasn't,
other
and that
circle,
you're right. You're right. I
every
wouldn't
other
expect it to
circle.
apply in marriage. I
Okay,
wouldn't have
I can't
expected
hear
it to apply in
myself talking. Go ahead, Terry.
Yo, stop this nonsense. We wait till we get together in Baltimore before we.
No,
But
I
Terry,
was
you're
just
right.
saying that I wouldn't expect that to apply in marriage. I wouldn't expect it to apply in marriage. That's
I
all.
got
That's
you.
why I had to put it
I
out
got
there,
you.
because how
I
you
got you.
said it made it seem as though it was just a blanket statement, like don't let the left hand know what the right hand is doing. And in friendships, for me though, maybe everybody else may disagree on that, but for me, I do hold that value in friendships and even with a family too. But when it comes to my husband, it's like all those games is just out the window. Like we're gonna talk it out, we're gonna talk about it, we're gonna put it out there. Yeah.
Sade, when you're done, I'm coming for quest on something. Go ahead, girl.
Okay. So I have two experiences. I have two women where we were best friends from the first time we met at Oakwood through life experiences. We no longer talk. I can guarantee you there are things that we experienced together that we will all three take to our deathbeds, right? I also have another friend. We've been best friends since 2007, still rocking today, where I will share with her any and everything.
I
What
like
I
that.
think
I like that.
matters is that trust is something that is reestablished over time. I think a lot of people think trust is a one
Okay.
time thing. It
Okay.
is reestablished. And at one point, me and my best friend were not talking, didn't
Mm.
say nothing to each other for about a year, picked up the phone one day and picked right back up. Not only because of the trust, but I think when you experience life with certain people, right? And I think Jesus wasn't married, right? But he had people in his life that were his deepest and his confidants, his friends. He could share his fears, his experiences without it leaking out. I mean, well, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. I mean, you shared whatever you want to share, but it wasn't like, oh, let me write down when Jesus was scared, or let. It's just like you. God gives us relationships where we feel safe to be open, honest, and transparent because He knows we need that. And if I walk around, and I'm not saying this is how anybody is, but if I walk around saying, these deep dark secrets. Yes, I talk to my therapist, but sometimes I just need to throw it up and say, "Girl, this is how I'm experiencing this. This is what I'm thinking." And to have that in a person where I know, even if we fell out today, is not going anywhere, that's because that trust has been established over time.
Right.
And
Let-
you led with trust.
Yes.
okay. Okay. Okay.
So let me ask this question: Who thought y'all were best friends?
What you mean you thought we were best friends?
You said we were best friends.
Uh-huh.
Did you think that, or did they
We all
think that?
we all thought that.
But y'all don't speak today.
No.
So then,
Relationship to me,
who thought you were best friends then?
we were best friends.
Okay.
Terry, are you asking that best friends is best friends till life? Like, help me understand that question. What do you mean
I'm
by
just
that?
asking what makes a best friend.
So the
That's a good
definition of a
question.
best friend.
What makes
That's
a
a good
best friend?
question.
Yeah.
Listen, what I'm saying is this: the first time you fall out with somebody, you say what? And I thought you thought that. Did they think that? Because you associated together? Because we kick together? Because we go to the same stuff? Because we wear the same size? Who thought that? That's all I'm asking.
So you say it
That's
could be
not
a
being
one.
But no,
pointed.
I think I'll lean a little bit towards that, and here's the reason why. Darius Daniels writes a book called Relationship Intelligence, if you've read it, and you
Mhm.
can matriculate through those four different areas of friend, advisor, associate, or assignment. Sometimes, like for real, you can start out as an associate, but matriculate up to being a friend. And depending on where we are in particular seasons, and if those seasons are not the same as they change for both me and you, we may turn back into associates or it may turn into an advisor situation. So that's the reason why I lean to that. What constitutes a best friend? And are we saying that we're best friends for as long as we can be, or is it best friends for life or best friends for a period? Because according to how he lays it out in that book, and I'm leaning a lot to it in terms of how I determine who's a friend and who's not a friend, because we have a lot of people that are associates that we've put the title of friend on because we've been together for X amount of time. There's nothing that really happened in our relationship other than time and being in each other's space that would constitute what would be an alignment for what I would understand as a friend per se. So that's a good question. What do we
And when you
determine a friend to be?
and when you talk about alignment, right? I think of people grow, and if we're not growing in alignment together and we grow apart, that could be kind of we get to the end of the road like, all right, buddy, it was great knowing you right in this space, but you're going this way and I'm going that way.
Facts.
So I think if we are communicating with each other about where the relationship is, then at some point, and I don't know, Sade, if this is your situation, but mine was we both established and agreed we would be best friends. I mean, even to the thing we was gonna be blood sisters and all, like we're gonna cut each other, we're gonna do all these things. And then
Right.
somewhere along the line, values changed for me now. Values change, and I just didn't quite. I wasn't with what you're into. Doesn't mean I didn't respect you as a person, but I just knew on my next leg of journey, we couldn't go there together.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of times we think best friends are like, oh, we gonna start together and we gonna end together. But I also think part of being a best friend is sitting down and having the conversation like, hey, this relationship is no longer, it's not fruitful for me anymore. And I love you enough to have this conversation. If I offended you, da 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 da. And the thing is, those two, I just text one the other day because her child is my goddaughter. Like, I still take care of things. Like, it's still, I respect you enough as the person that you were in my life to even still now, I don't move like, I, I don't know if it's different because we met at a young age and we grew
Here goes.
together.
Listen, silly. Listen, what I want you to understand, right?
Foul on the play. Foul on the play.
Let me
Foul
ask
on the
this
play.
question. Let me ask this question.
Foul on the play. It's a foul on the play.
I want to
Penalty, 15-yard penalty.
Question.
First down.
Terry, when you finish, let me get in there.
All right, let me ask this question. Okay. How many of us have thousands of friends? Okay, friends on Facebook.
I do.
Oh, that's good.
Thousands
I know
of
where you're
friends on
going with
Facebook.
this. That's good.
Okay, got thousands of friends, right? I don't even know how many I got. You know what I'm saying? There's a whole bunch of people waiting in the queue. I don't even know. Okay, some of them come from this show. But anyway, what I'm saying is,
That's
I'm like,
good.
who is this? Okay, but out of everybody on that list, okay, out of everybody on that list,
That's
I
good.
probably can count on one hand who I can call if I'm really in a pinch.
And not use all
So
five
think
fingers.
about that and not use all five fingers.
That's crazy.
Okay. Here's my issue, Terry.
You see what I'm saying? So who friends? Who are okay?
Okay, let me ponder that in my own personal life, Terry. What you just said, and let me jump back to Sade for a second. Sade,
Use your mic.
Yeah, you sound like you and come on.
All right.
Yeah, your mic doesn't sound nice. Check one.
Check one.
There we go.
Okay.
Right there.
Okay.
That's it. Right there.
Here's my biggest issues. Sade, I don't disagree with you at all. Here's my issue with anyone here. Anonymity is big for me. It blends into my life work. All right. So what I always say to Wendy is that there's a lot of things that you can do, right, that I can't do when we go on trips, when we go here, when we go there, what have you. The truth of the matter is that my work blends in with, my livelihood blends in with my
Personal.
with
Your
my
personal
right with my character, my person, the whole nine. If I'm a school teacher, it's like I can't be a dancer at the same time. Whatever. My mindset simply is that when you say you're friends, I just feel like when you're no longer friends, they're holding my life in their hands. And it may not be for the construction worker, or it may not be for the, I shouldn't say teacher, right? Because that's deep right there for me, teachers. But that's one of the reasons why I could not get down with other pastors, because if I'm cool with other pastors and I elevate and they don't, they'll tell my business, right? There are things that I've heard other people discuss. In other words, I would love to do crazy stuff with my wife because she's my wife. Just hear me out what I'm saying to you, right? It doesn't matter what you call it, the marriage bed is undefiled, this, that, and the other, whatever. My issue is you can't trust the third person. I'm just being straight. And if I divorce my wife or she divorces me, what is she gonna say? So the scary thing is that the deepest parts of me, when I share that with someone, and then it's over, you are looking at a liability walking around.
So what does that say though, P?
I don't want to say nothing to nobody.
No. I'll tell you
Right,
what
but
it
what is
means.
it saying
It means
about
that
you?
stuff is going to happen. No, not necessarily what it says about you, but
Mhm.
just in general. Like, let's be honest. Some people gonna do what they gonna do, right?
Right.
It just behooves us that when you're choosing somebody as a friend, that you properly vet the person that you're about to enter into this relationship with, in terms of the content of who they are as an individual, such that even if things go, I know that if we end up not being friends, but because I know who Leah is as an individual, I know that we may not be friends no more. But I also know that my stuff ain't gonna be out in the street based
That's
upon
the
who I
fear.
know who
That's the
she
fear.
is.
The fear. What Sade is saying is that she's done this relationship that she's with this person is over, right?
Mhm.
I'm not that the relationship is over. They're not speaking, so to speak, like they were before. She just left with my bones.
But here's the thing. I think
Sade, the girl just left with your bones. You don't
here's
feel funny about that?
no. And let me tell you why. Because the parts of you that I gave, if you were to ever say anything about it, because I've healed from it, because I've experienced it, I don't mind walking in my truth.
And that's why I said it's about you.
Yeah, I
Okay.
don't
Right?
mind.
because
Because
now
if you
because now if
engage,
you
but
did that
listen,
to me,
if you
I gotta learn what is it about me that caused me to choose you as a friend.
Okay.
I
Okay.
But
think
All right.
in that part of
but
it,
it's
Leah.
not so much about the other person. At no point are we having conversations about us, right? It is about the
Mm,
individual who is
mm,
stepping into relationship with.
I got
We
Yeah,
you.
have to be accountable for the things that we've done. Because here's the real. I don't care what human beings see what I do. God's seeing everything.
That's right,
So
Carla.
who cares about what people got to say, right?
and
I
here's
got
the thing: you can't now again. There
That's
are
right,
things.
Carla. That's
There
that's my homie right there. That's
there are things
what's
that if they
great.
came out, I would be like, wow, I can't believe she said that. I can't believe she expressed like she shared that. But I also know if I did it, I have no problem saying, yeah, at 18, 19, 20, this is what I was doing. And if you want to hold me to that standard, that tells me more about you than about me.
got
And
it.
the other part of that is that what when you're doing relationship with other people, right? I'm always aware of how you treat others as well. Because see, if you and I are having a conversation, I shouldn't hear about your other friends,
My.
their
Ah,
business,
that's
right?
why
So I
Terry.
look at how you handle everybody to
Okay.
know how I should deal with you.
That's why Terry, when Terry asked the question, it got a little deep for me. Yeah, like who said we were friends? Was it one sided? Was it just me?
Right. Was it
Was
mutual?
that person? But then Leah, you're basically saying again, but it's not for them. It's for you. It's how you.
Because any and everything that I do, right, I need to own up to the action, period. So if you know about it, okay, and I know what I did,
Right.
right? So it doesn't matter to me the judgment that's going to come. And I guess that's just how I'm cut.
Yeah.
I've
Right.
always been that way.
Yeah,
Right.
Detroit.
Right, even in church things where people want to, ooh, and point the
Detroit.
finger, and I'm like, yo, point the finger back at you because I can say XYZ about you. Why? Because we're all flawed human beings.
Woo! You
So
scared me.
if I have
That
to
F
go
scared me.
about,
That F scared me. That F scared me with flawed.
look, we are all flawed in the look, period. And so my point is why do I need to duck and dodge and right and be so like
Tell them,
under
fam.
the cover about what it is that I'm doing. Either I'm
I've
gonna do
known
it or
Leah for years.
And here's
listen,
the
I'm
thing.
just saying,
She 100. Leah is 100%.
Let me say this though. One thing I've learned, especially in the last year, is that sometimes I'm the villain in other people's stories, so they
My
don't have to share
God.
their truth. Right. So one
and that's okay too, though,
that's
Sade.
okay. Listen, I tell people all the time, there are people who probably think I'm this, I'm that. And one thing Quest also asked me this. He was like, you don't defend yourself. I ain't got time to go through and check. Yeah, I did this. No, I didn't do this. Let me explain this. Listen, I'm okay with being the villain in your story if I know the truth. Everybody else can think, but if I know what I did, if I know what was said, and for you to be the victim, if I got to be the villain for you to feel better about yourself, be good, move on. We'll never have a conversation again.
Terry, send me some. Terry, come on, send me some
I'm
of that.
saying, what the heck you doing over
Can
there,
I
my dude?
can I just say one thing?
Go ahead.
What
go
I
ahead.
have learned is I now preference with people that I'm meeting that we seem to be like, oh, you're somebody I want to be friends with. I'm asking the question of, what are you looking for in a friend? Because here's what I can do.
Yeah.
And if I can't give you what you're looking for, then I'm okay with us being no friends or just acquaintances.
That part.
Because
See,
I have been, to Terry's point, thinking we were one thing and then we're not, or they're thinking I'm going to do one thing and then when I don't deliver the way they thought it would be, then now we have issues. And I'm like, wait, I didn't sign up for this. I didn't sign up to call you every time, every day. I don't even talk to my man 24/7. So how is it, you text me and I don't text you right now you're mad because I didn't respond. So now I've just learned to ask the question like, hey, tell me, what are you looking for? Because here's what I can do. This is my capacity right now.
Wow,
And
that's
I
your,
also
right, your
think we have
bandwidth.
to define what it is. Like, and I can say this. I don't consider anybody on here my friend. I consider y'all my brother. Listen, Mina, pipe down. Y'all are my brothers and my sisters, right? I consider all of you like, this is my big brother, this is my big sister. So even in our conversations, because
I'm about to say, as much as we talk on the doggone phone, we better.
there's a different level of respect I have when it comes to our relationships, and I handle them in that way. But to compare a 20-year-old friendship to, and this is what a lot of people do, is I'm not gonna treat you like I treat me. You ain't gonna talk like me and her because we got 20 years in this thing.
Come
If
on.
I meet somebody today, you may know, yeah, girl, I do this, do that, but it's gonna be very surface. And maybe in 20 years, we'll have 40 and we have 20 and it'll be different. But I think people have to go in and say, this is how I see you. This is how I view our relationship. And this is what I desire for us. To Mina's point. Mina, you're my friend.
Share a little bit too, because I heard something in our conversation where it's like, when this person doesn't serve me anymore, or when their actions may, be a little off-putting, and we're like, yo, enough is enough. For me, love should endure. So if I call you my friend, my best friend at that, my love for you endures. I have individuals that fell off for years because they were out doing things that may not have been what I call myself, right, wanting to do. It doesn't stop my love for you.
Right.
Right. And as soon as you need me, guess who rolling up?
Right there.
I am. Right? But that don't mean that I gotta dwell in the lifestyle that you engage in. And that don't mean that I cut you off. So again, I think in the definition of friendship, I would just hope that it's not where it is we are looking to receive all the time, and when that disappointment happens, we throw individuals away because people don't always have the capacity to pour into you. We don't know half the time what's going on with everybody, let alone half the time know what's going on with our own doggone self. But if I say I love you, and I'm gonna rock it out with you. Even when you acting slow, and even when you acting a little off.
Slow? Did you say slow?
Yeah, some folks be acting
Slow.
Like,
Slow.
And here's the thing, Leah. Here's the thing, Leah.
I
That
said it.
requires,
Nigga, I
though,
said it. Slow.
Let me
one
say
plus
this.
one is two, baby. Come
That
on. Where you at?
That requires a
said.
level of maturity. You see what I'm saying? I call it relationship plasticity. How does your relationship stretch over time?
Yeah, that's good.
That plasticity. How long does it endure? Because over time, like we say, sometimes it stops, or sometimes it just keeps going. And it doesn't mean that you have to be there, with this person like 24/7, 365. Like, Leah said, hey, there's some people you don't talk to, but that doesn't mean that you are not, I'm not going to be there for you, or whatever the case may be. I'm just not going to do something that's going to compromise, I've never been that type of person that's oh, I'm mad at you because my boy mad at you or my girl mad at you type stuff. It's just like, you know what? That's between y'all. Y'all need to work that out, especially if I'm friends with both of you all. I can't get involved in that. You see what I'm saying? I don't try to pull people to, oh, I'm mad at you. So it is, everybody got to be mad type stuff. No, if that's my friend, you see what I'm saying? That's my friend. Whatever happened between y'all happened between y'all. Y'all need to work that out. It may have been foul, but y'all need to work that out.
That's right.
Listen, let me ask you a question, Quest, because you made the statement before. I think that you flowed through it, and I'm going to ask you to slow down a bit.
Mm-hmm.
You made mention about the gentleman who wrote the book, and you brought 4 categories to the table.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to ask you if you could repeat that, and let's all break down what we think that looks like or that sounds like.
So the gentleman's name is Dr. Darius Daniels. He's also a pastor. Y'all know him. Y'all seen him before. The book is Relationship Intelligence, and he breaks it down into 4 different areas: friend, advisor, associate, assignment. And I think a lot of the times that same one right there, me and the homie,
we would be able to see it, but we don't know why she's trying to cloud out her background.
Yeah,
like,
me
walk by.
Me and the homie was reading it for a minute. But I think a lot of the times we put the title of friend on associates or sometimes on advisors as well, because we feel that we're close enough in relationship and they're giving us information, right? Sometimes our assignment can look at us as friends, right? But we're just providing information, or this is the person that God has assigned you to for whatever reason that he's assigned you to this person. But there's something about a friend and the definition of a friend.
2 hours before.
Yep. You don't just get to friend status. And this is something that I've had to learn over. Here I am at 52. I'm 53 this year. And I can honestly say that I'm just learning the fullness of this within the last 2 to 3 years. Wow. If that.
I thought you was 45.
Yeah, come on, but you know what I'm saying? It's this young, you know what I'm saying? Collagen got me, you know what I'm saying? The collagen got me looking like
supplements, Quest, you on the supplement.
The supplement. I'm lowering my cortisol. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, listen.
Hey, he was taking all that stuff from that doctor. What that doctor name is? Dr. CB. I think that's his name.
You know what I'm saying? We taking large amounts of sea moss.
Leah and Mia, listen closely. Leah and Mia, listen closely.
Yeah.
Your boy. There are times we went away to North Carolina this weekend, last Sabbath before, and the guy says to Wendy, "I've known Paul all my life." The pastor makes this comment. And then he brings up some things that had happened back at school. And when he walked out, Wendy said, "So is he your friend?"
Woo.
Because I've never heard of him before. Okay. And a lot of times, I don't know what's going on here. A lot of times I have found that just because we matriculated doesn't mean we're friends. Because we work together doesn't mean we're friends.
But here's my question, Paul. Did he say you were his friend, or did he just say I've known him all my life?
No, he said we were friends.
Oh, okay.
Okay. He introduced me as friends.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm gonna say this, right? My problem is that you can agree with me about something. What is going on?
Mike, we hear you. We hear you.
No. Yeah, just speak in the mic, direct.
Stop. God,
go ahead.
Jesus.
Now, would a friend have known what you were thinking?
Flag on the play.
Wait. What did JoJo
say? This picture of bedroom. Okay. You move closely in, and you begin.
I can see
your
that the volume keeps going down. I don't know why. The volume keeps going down.
But
Okay.
we
see
can-
how you got your lips right there close to it, like just moving
Okay.
close.
Okay.
Have the conversation.
I got you, bro.
man.
I got
Have
you.
this conversation.
I got you. Okay.
Talk into the mic.
Pause.
Make love to
Pause.
the mic. Boy.
Pause.
Make love to the
Pause. PAUSE.
I'm
Pause.
so lost.
Look, what do you need?
Leah, why are you adding to the foolishness?
You know they
This is
slow.
therapy.
You
This
have
is
to
therapy.
speak the same language.
This is therapy. This is therapy.
Why?
Mia on it. Pause.
This is why
Pause.
we all can't get
Who is
together
that?
once a year.
Mia
That's why we
Moore?
can't get together
Yeah,
once a
Mia.
Let me see your phone, Mia.
year. So I recognize that my problem in life is that even among my colleagues, if my colleagues agree with me, it doesn't mean that they're my friends.
Yep.
Oh
True.
my gosh, Mike said.
Truth.
Mike said, "Reel it in, P.
Facts.
Reel
Reel
it
it
in,
in,
P."
P.
I have that issue because I don't even have friends in ministry, right? I don't, and it.
So
and I'm
so
gonna-
what I'm is.
Yo, you don't work. We don't work together.
Oh my bad.
You know what I'm saying? Like we're not pastors together,
Oh my bad.
right?
Wes, this ain't
Because-
about us.
Right.
Oh my bad. My bad.
Yeah, y'all go from back in the days on the Boulevard of Linden.
Yeah, no doubt.
I don't think you will hurt me, Quest,
Nah,
to
I
get
wouldn't
where
do
I
that.
am.
Mhm.
I don't get down
Oh,
like
you
that.
understand where you understand where I'm coming from?
Mhm.
So the fear is that I have to learn at 55.
Mm.
Who do I trust as my friend,
Mhm.
and who do I trust as my associate?
Facts.
And there's some more that you put out there. You said friends, associate. There was
I'm sorry. There's a fifth one.
yeah, but
So
start from the beginning. Start
There's
from the
a fifth
beginning.
one. There is a friend. There's an advisor. There's an associate. There is an assignment, and the fifth one is or nothing at all, and that's okay too.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was friend, mentor, partner, assignment, relationship, and acquaintance. No? Am I
No,
mis-
it's friend, advisor, assignment, associate, or nothing at all.
Oh.
Yeah.
So are you saying, Quest, and I think I didn't read the whole book, but I read a lot of it. What I
Mhm.
walked away with is that problems happen when people mislabel relationships. That's
It-
kind of like what we're talking
Bottom
about.
line. Bottom line.
And I
Because
think
and here Leah said it earlier on. It's not necessarily that person, it's us. I need to interrogate me. The same way I'm vetting other people out, I need to vet myself out. What is it about me that causes me to put this label on people, right? And like for real, when they do what they do, the only person that's hurt and twisted and all these negative emotions is me. They
Yeah,
go
because
on
they
living in life on fine.
They fill a void, for at least for me, they fill a void that I'm lacking or that
Sorry.
I don't have.
Problems happen when we what?
mislabel.
This label.
This label.
Hey, I
Yep.
think,
I also think
didn't
a
I,
lot
didn't I say that? Didn't I start with that? I thought that's what
You
I
did.
started with.
You did.
No, you did.
did.
That's how we
I
got
was
here.
making
It's
sure.
because of
like,
that question.
You mislabeled that thing. I'm like, who said it? Okay.
But I think a lot of times, and I have been told, because I'm friendly, people assume that we're friends. Right. So I think a lot of times people look at the behaviors because I'm one of those people, hey, did you get lunch? Are you okay? That's shot A. But to someone who is yearning for that, right? Or someone who is missing that, she's my friend. And there have been people who walked up to me like, you are such a good friend to me. What is your name? Like, I don't.
But it's what you do with that.
Right.
And that goes back into the boundary part.
Who was
right?
talking about?
Brain, right? Like, let's
Yeah.
kind of switch that up.
Mhm.
And do you let them know, well, I am very honored by what it is that you're saying, but we haven't made it to the friend level at this time.
Now,
Right.
were you the one, Leah? Did you talk about discernment
I don't know. I often talk about it, but yeah.
today? Someone talked about like essentially discernment, like helping us to avoid toxic relationships or draining, like knowing or having the ability to understand someone's character and their intentions. who was saying that just on this call.
Mm,
We didn't use the word discernment, but we were talking about like before you make somebody your friend, like know that person's character.
Oh, when
Well,
I think I said,
that's Sade.
yeah.
Sade.
Okay, yeah. So
Sade was coming off like I need to interview you.
well, but should we not have discernment?
But you lightweight do that though. You
Yeah.
lightweight do that. You got to.
And if I'm going to be honest, I tell people this all the time. I'm not in the space of looking for friends. Like I have what I need. Like if I meet a guy and he's like, oh, da 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 da, and you don't want to date, sir, we're not. I'm not looking for friends, right?
If you're talking like that, you probably don't. Da 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 da.
What I'm saying, and I tell people that like
silly.
I made my the friends that I've had for a long time. So I don't mind being friendly. But at this point in life, I'm not out actively looking for friends. So when I meet people, yeah, we can be cool, we can be chill, but that's not where that's my boundary. That's where I'm at, is where I have the community I need. I don't mind speaking with people, but to befriend you and be in relationship with you, that's not what I'm looking for right now.
Okay, can I do a spin on it?
Go ahead.
Can I take us in a different direction, Paul?
Come on, sis. Come on.
So sometimes, right, when we are friendly, that leads, right, as you're saying, to the misinterpretation thereof of another individual. How do you manage that if that person's interpretation they're unable to let go, no matter whether or not you've established that boundary, and you wind up with stalking?
You wind up with what? I'm sorry. Say that last part again.
Stalking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Because I've heard where individuals will say, oh, you led me on because you came across as super friendly, right? Now, I kind of threw it in there because I know you said in the beginning, Paul, you were kind of looking at a situation of abuse or something of that nature, right? Mm-hmm. And so stalking kind of finds its way into, right, full-blown abuse, potentially at a latter time. So taking it from a friend or presenting as friendly, the misinterpretation of that person could lead to stalking. How do you manage that?
You know what? Look, I want to share something with you because that's where we were supposed to start at, right? But this is so stinking unscripted that this is where we've reached. And I want to be careful because the conversation that I had this Saturday is funny because, and I'm going to say this, the two of them are online right now, which I want to get your perspective on this because you're talking about stalking, you're talking about friendships, you're talking about families that you need to trust. And here we find that there's a situation, I'm just saying, where a family member does not get when they're being abused from someone who's supposed to love them. I have found, and I'm gonna go somewhere where we started and go somewhere else where I think a lot of people can be abused in friendships. Okay. And I also feel that because you're friends and then you're dating now and you're in a relationship, that person can't tell the difference whether they're abused or not. So there's a situation where someone has been tight for years. Listen, y'all, they've been tight for years. And this person is in and out of this other person's life. And then they come in and they disrupt the whole family's life. But the person can't see
the disruption.
They can't see the disruption. They can't see the abuse. They can't see these things. And because I believe that they've been friends. That's why I love y'all. That's why I love y'all, right? Because they've been friends for so long, they can't see the abuse. Is it really, and I know y'all putting your hats on right now, but is it really that possible for someone to be so misused, but because of the the past that they've had with them, and they don't the fact that they don't want to let go of them, the fact that you're so comfortable with them that you would rather take the abuse or close your eyes to it.
You know
Listen to
what it,
what
you
you
know what
just
it is?
said. You just said
Mm-hmm.
fact that they don't want to let go.
That part.
So
And they
Right?
don't.
so then the question, Leah, is
Leah,
this.
here's a question.
Can they see? You said they can't see it or they don't want to see it.
Right. That's why I said.
Terry,
So when
Terry,
he
have
made
they
that
even?
statement of letting go, right?
Mhm.
That lets me know that you see something that you don't want to release.
I was saying, Leah and Terry, have you evaluated? Because you can only do that when you don't evaluate as. I don't care how frequent it is. Every now and then, you got to evaluate where you are in friendship. I don't care if it's platonic. I don't care if it's romantic. I don't care if it's a parent, son. I'm in a season right now where I'm like, okay, Nico, you 13 now. Now I got to start teaching you how to cut the lawn. Because you need to understand what the relationship as it is right now got you a little entitled. And we need to shift this up just a little bit. Right?
Entitled.
So,
Wow.
yeah, come on. My man
And
has everything
everybody
provided for him.
knows. Everybody knows when. Everybody knows when they're not being treated well, because they make excuses for. Oh, well, she was just having a bad day, or she was just doing it. Oh, he's just, it's my friend. She's always been this way. I got to be a better person. I got to do. And so you start making excuses for that
When the
person.
booty bananas and you don't want to mess it up.
You almost take on this Stockholm syndrome type, thing, like, oh, well, yeah, what happened to that person is horrible, and I wouldn't have ever done that, and I understand where they're coming from. And do they see it or they don't want to see it? Everybody knows when they're not being treated right, and they make excuses. And
When the booty is bananas and you don't want to mess up your booty, and so you bypass all kind of treatment that you're getting because you don't want to mess up your booty. Come on,
but because you want that relationship so bad, okay, you keep trying to turn red flags green.
Right.
So can I just say, without
and then go ahead.
Without knowing anything, when I put my clinical hat on, a couple of things come to mind. Trauma bonding, and that happens when a person forms a deep emotional relationship to someone who is abusing them. And sometimes this often occurs, I don't know, maybe because in a relationship there's a cycle, tension, abuse, harm, maybe apology, or even affection, or this person hoping that things will change, or the next time they come around is going to be different. I also think of, that's one thing. The other thing I think of is, you talked about these people have been friends for a long time. Is there any grooming and long-term manipulation that's been happening that could include gaslighting, isolation from family, creating dependency, rewriting events? Like, this didn't happen the way you think it happened. So over time, the person that the family member thinks is blinded, they start to doubt their own perception. So your question is, is this possible? It is very possible, and sadly, it happens more often than people even realize it.
Can I say something? So I think one, right? Some people don't know that they're not being treated right because that's the only way they've been treated.
Woo!
So if this is all I know, and then I meet somebody that's like, no, this isn't normal. Like, this is not healthy. But if this has been my family dynamic my entire life, and this is all I know, I don't know that it's not right for when my mom comes to the house for her to be able to yell and scream and tell me what I should and shouldn't do, because that's all I know. But if I marry somebody that's like, your mama not running this house. Oh, I can set boundaries. Like, a lot of times people that are outside of our circle see things totally different than we do because that's all we know. Right. So I think a lot of times we assume that people, like, what I've learned in the last year is there's nothing such as normal. There's healthy, but normal is dependent on what you have experienced in your life. And when you meet somebody who that's not their normal, it's like, I never knew this was even a possibility.
Oh, okay.
So I think a lot of times we just have to, some people don't see it because, again, that is all they know.
I got you. Leah,
I want to speak after you. Go ahead, Leah.
Sade, thanks for that. Leah, go ahead, sis.
And I agree in part with what Sade is saying, right? Some people may not have the language to say what it is that they are experiencing,
Mhm.
but the body physiologically will let you know when something ain't right.
Come on.
You will feel it.
Yes.
In your members.
Body keeps the score, right?
Yes.
Cecil Vandercoat. There we go. That is the
Leah,
Bible.
can you give some of those examples of what we feel in our bodies when something ain't
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, when certain things are occurring that you may not have the language for, you may feel certain things such as racing thoughts, right? You may feel elevated or rapid heartbeat. You may feel nauseous or sick to your stomach, right? And all of these different things are happening is because the blood, which is supposed to be in the core portion of your body, is actually diverted to your large muscles, right?
Mm.
And it's all happening because the mind perceives a threat, even if they don't know exactly what that threat really is.
Mm.
So now it is picking up on its own internal cues, right? Systemically,
That's about
hands
to be in my
sweating,
library.
right? Taut muscles, grinding your teeth, balling up. Like it's a whole host of things. I often say that the body is your own alarm system,
My,
right?
Mm.
my, my.
Mm.
It's going to let you know even when you don't have the language.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
Terry, Terry.
let me say this too.
Yeah, that finna be
Okay.
in my library.
When when a baby's born, okay, they don't know to protect themselves. Okay. So when a baby keeps getting hit, they just taking it and screaming. After a while, they learn to do what? Even dogs do that. You
Mm.
start yelling at a dog, they cower down or whatever the case may be. So when you say you don't know you don't like it. So you do the thing that makes it right because you know this person doesn't like this. You know this person doesn't like this. So let me make, oh, mama coming home. Let's make sure we got this place clean. Let's get it where we're supposed to be. Let's be quiet. Let's do this. Because you know that from experience, and all you've known is that. So you tend to find relationships that probably mirror that because you know how
Mm.
to operate within those. You see what I'm saying? And so you've learned that from
Yeah.
whatever, from whatever you were taught it or whatever the case may be. Now there was something in that that you were saying, about trauma bonding, and I don't know if what you were saying was. I want to make sure we understand what that is. Okay, trauma bonding ain't with the person that caused the trauma.
Mhm.
It's bonding with somebody who has like. You see what I'm saying?
Like what you're used to, what you want, or the trauma you had
No,
before.
I'm saying that backwards. Let me correct that.
It's
Am I
that
am I saying that backwards? It's
Yeah.
like people say we're trauma bonding. We're trauma bonding. No, you bond with the person who caused the trauma. It's
Is
not
that what?
because you and I have the same thing in common. Oh, my mother
Right.
abused me. Mine abused me. No, that's
No,
not.
right. And that's not what I said.
Oh,
I
no, no,
said,
no,
That's
no,
what I was
no,
trying
no.
to
You
make
didn't say that.
clear. That's all I was trying to make clear. Okay.
actually,
Right. And I want to tell you this. I want to thank you for saying that. Because Terry, when I think of and guys, it's not my field. And when I listen to you all, sometimes I go back. I try to check out what you guys were talking about and some of the terms that you use. But I,
Oh,
I
fact
honestly
checking, huh?
not fact
Ah.
checking, learning. Because if you didn't say that, I would believe that I'm bonding with someone who has my same trauma.
So
no.
can I add to that too, though? So
Yes.
in the trauma bonding phase, it can also be observed trauma, meaning that the trauma didn't directly happen to your person.
Mhm.
And so now you're trying to bond with that person.
And
It
that's
can be
vicarious trauma.
observed.
That's
It can be,
vicarious trauma.
yeah. So it could be an observable one, right? Like I've seen mom be abused by dad, or I've seen dad be abused by mom. the power rests with this one individual. So let me bond with the strong one so that I don't wind up hurt and harmed like mom or dad has. So that's also within that whole trauma bonding, right? Experience. Yeah.
I got you. I got you.
So
And
it's not necessarily the person who's who's doing the trauma to you, but that feeling is very much relatable. It's very much like you can identify with it because it has happened.
Because you've
So
seen it before.
right.
Mhm.
Same.
okay.
And to your point, Paul, I think one thing that's interesting is that if you have a family that has unhealthy dynamics, right? And someone comes in and points out, hey, that's not normal, or this isn't normal. I've been on both sides where there are things that happen in my family. I'm like, oh, everybody does this. And somebody was like, I've never experienced this a day in my life. But I was open to hearing their experience. Right. And so when you were like, well, they can't see it, it may be that they're okay with it and they don't want to have someone from the outside tell them this is wrong because this is what works for us.
Here's my problem. Here's my problem. And
Mhm.
and we just passed the 7 minutes ago. We passed the 10 minute mark, so we have 15 minutes left. Listen, I want to share something with you, and I want you to help me with this. What gets me is that in this conversation Saturday, the person that seems to have been abused is a dominant person in life. Are you understand where I'm coming from? Why I'm so freaking confused? Because
Could it be the abuse that caused them to be the dominant person? Like, this ain't gonna happen to me no more. So I'm just gonna turn into a dominant person so that whatever that is, that don't happen to me no more.
Quest, what I'm saying, I grew up with. Sorry. What I'm saying with this person is a dominant person. How could this dominant person be abused by somebody right now?
Easy.
Very
Really?
Right? Yeah. Because
Especially if that dominance ain't real.
victimization happens in the space of right where they're being victimized, has nothing to do with when they step outside of those doors or in other relationships. And if they feel very small and powerless in one, they may overcompensate to show up strong in another.
Your president is a prime example.
But
Huh?
here's the piece
Is
of what,
Trump a dominant person?
but here's the piece I want to add.
No.
to-
Hold on, real quick. Because I think this is like, is Trump a dominant person? Does he move down in a dominant kind of way?
Yes.
But why is it that Obama lives rent free in his head? You understand what I'm saying?
And you on point. So can I, Mina, and I'm gonna come to you. Can I just kind of add because he said that rent-free part, right? So there is a particular modality that's used in therapy called IFS, right? The internal family system. And so with this particular thing, we talk about the host self, right, which is your person. We also talk about the exiles, the managers, and the firefighters. The exiles are those voices, those things that live rent-free in your head that someone in times past has said or done something to you. And it just keeps recurring time and time and time again. Whenever you go to step up and do something, you might hear, you ain't nothing like your old good, you're no good daddy, or you so stupid. So now you have these recurrent things. The manager, what it does is it kicks you into overdrive to not be what is constantly replaying in your head. So yes, it is very much possible to be the victim and be the dominant individual who actually perpetrates harm. In most relationships, you see, they'll say either if you come from a space of violence, and Terry, I know you can account, and Mina, I'm sure as well. You either gonna turn out being a victim again or a perpetrator most times.
And that when it comes to like domestic violence, okay, if kids are raised in a home where there's domestic violence, they're either going to be one or two ways. Okay, they're going to either be passive or they're going to be aggressive. Plain and simple. Take for instance Chris Brown. Remember what he said? He saw his mother abused and he said he never do it, but then he turned around and did what?
Yeah.
Because that's pretty much what he knew. That was all he knew. You see what I'm saying? That's all he knew. And so then therefore it's like, all behavior is learned. You just don't wake up one day and decide I'm going to do.
Right.
That has been conditioned in you. You've learned that somewhere. So, well, that's how my dad used to handle my mom. So that's how, or you know what? My dad never said anything to my mom. And so I'm just going to be quiet and let her do whatever.
I
Can I
got you, Mia,
It's
Mia, and then
10-11.
Sade. I got you, Mia, and then Sade. Like that, Terry.
So, Paul, that was a very insightful question you asked, right? And I could sense in your core you was like, I just don't get it, right? But here's what I want you to know: when it comes to abuse, the truth is, it's not about weakness; it's about power, manipulation, and emotional dynamics. So even
Woo!
strong, intelligent, and dominant people can become victims of abuse.
Wow,
And
wow.
if we were sitting in my chair in my office, I would go down a whole list of the reasons why. So, but I just want
So,
to put
so
that out.
Mia,
I don't
so
want to
Mia
make
It's
it.
just
about power and control.
okay.
Plain
So
and simple.
Mia makes this comment just now, right? We know each other personally. She says, "Paul, do you think I would ever be abused or allow someone to abuse me?" And see, from the outside looking, in, I would look at her and I would be like, "Ain't nobody touching this girl." But the fact of the matter is, there is someone that can, right?
Yes.
Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, there's always that one person. For every single person on this earth, there is that one person that, if you are not on your P's and Q's, will take you out. There's always that one person. Because you know what? The devil is out here lurking to kill and destroy. So what makes us different?
Woo! Oh
And
my
can I
gosh!
say this? I
Please.
think one thing that I think when we think of abuse, we think it's very upfront and in your face and it's there. Some
Right?
abuse is so
So,
calculated, it's slow, and it slowly erodes a person's character, their personality. Because I'm gonna start here, and yes, you're great, you're everything, but over time, and what I will tell people is mental abuse
Okay.
to me is one of the worst to experience for me.
yeah.
Somebody can every day say something to you, right? Like, oh, I don't like this about you. I don't like that about you, but I love this and I love this and I love that. And it's a slow progression where one day you don't even realize it's happening anymore.
Yes.
Mm.
It
And
gets to a
Sade,
point.
you're,
The body
you're
stops responding because I've now conditioned my body to be okay with this abuse.
But like you, to your point, it starts very subtle. It starts with charm, attention, admiration, emotional closeness. The whole time this person is studying you, they have enrolled in fill in the blanks university, and they are studying you emotionally. And by studying emotionally, they know what your needs are and they use it to build trust. By the time the abuse begins, the emotional connection is already strong.
Yep.
Mm.
And
Mm.
to the point,
Mm.
like I don't want to mispronounce her name. The young lady that you know, where she was like, it wasn't just physical, it was emotional and mental. The thing that we and again, it's hard for you to hear that. Do you think you're being abused? No, we just have a rough relationship. We're just going through this rough patch. But because it's been a slow progression, like you don't meet somebody one day and they just punch you in the face. Like, hey, I like
Yeah.
you. Let me punch you in your face.
Yeah. I
But what they do is they weaken you to
I
where
like
you
what
just kind of feel like this is just who this person is and this is just how they are and all the things. But slowly but surely, it is just chipping away to where now they can do and say whatever they want to do and say, and it's gonna be okay.
I want to go get to the point of what Leah was saying about they and I like this. They chip away at you until they get you.
Yeah.
They chip away at you until they get you. And when I look at this, it's hard for me to say someone who's dominant in life can be abused. And then now you say, why are you talking about being hit, Paul? Why are you talking about physical? The worst one is mental. And one of the
That's
things
per individual.
Per individual. For
That's
me, it's
per
mental.
individual.
oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm
There's
sorry.
multiple types, right, of abuse, and they oftentimes
Yeah.
are not
Just held them
happening
up.
in isolation, right, of another.
Using the
So
kids, using the children.
yeah, they
Harry,
come in
can you
very
post that
subtly.
picture?
The reason why I
Harry?
said, oh, she said, "Could you make the picture the big, like make that big?" The thing that I will say is the reason why I
I
said
heard control will.
the reason why I said for me, mental is the worst is because I've never experienced physical, right? I've never had someone physically abuse me, but and a lot of times mental abuse, you don't even realize it's happening until you're out of the situation.
Mm.
And you're like, wait a minute, I let that happen. I let this happen. And people would, no one would say Sade could be like, no, but I was in a situation where it was a slow and steady process to where by the time I left, I doubted who I was.
Yeah,
And the tough part is, I think happens often is we don't even know why we get into relationships.
Ooh.
That
We
part.
have no clue why. We haven't stopped to really evaluate self to know. I often call it the hole in your heart, right?
Mm.
We are plugging up the hole in our hearts with toilet paper.
Woo. Woo.
Things that don't last, right? And we will stay and acquiesce to while someone is seeing that their limits are really working on you. But it's because they have identified something that maybe within us we're unwilling to see, right? And to acknowledge and confront.
I
Yeah.
got you.
So it
Leah,
must,
can we stay right there for a minute? There's a book, right, written by Dr. Miles Monroe called me and Sade was talking about it today. Single, married, divorced, and widowed. And basically what he lays out in that book in terms of people not knowing why they even get into relationships is because they haven't fully achieved a full state of singleness first. Because when you achieve a full state of singleness, you are whole,
yeah.
right? In all the areas, right? I'm not saying that you are like just floating on cloud nine, but you are complete to the point where you understand I'm a whole individual and I desire relationships so that I can serve somebody else outside of myself, share the love that I'm full of. You feel me? Um
No, no,
just
no,
saying, just
no,
saying.
I have something to say about that though,
Yeah,
because growing up in the church, that's not what singleness is taught.
yeah.
Singleness is a bad thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? If you are unmarried and like, what are you waiting on? What are you doing wrong?
Ain't
What
no
like
doubt.
we don't
It's
teach
you.
people to
Something's wrong with
fully,
you.
yeah, we don't teach singles to fully embrace singleness because you should desire marriage. You shouldn't desire to be whole single. You are not a complete person if you're not married.
But
Mm-hmm.
then
You also get
And some
where
of
they
those people say that because they did not achieve the fullness of singleness, and
yes.
whatever the void is now, they project that same void onto you and
But it's
Mhm.
cause you to
also
think,
frowned
yeah,
upon if we are dating. It's like dating is a bad thing. It's almost like you skip the whole phase of dating and just go get married.
brokenness,
And
brokenness.
this is why I say that I could care less what anybody had to say about my life, is because of the projection that happens, right?
Mhm.
However, your life has gone, now you think that mine is supposed to mimic yours.
Mhm.
Absolutely not. When you understand your own individuality, you understand your relationship with God, you understand how to finally communicate, right? And be okay with self. You start to acknowledge, right, all of the issues, all of the good and the ugly, and then you just kind of, continue your healing journey. But if you got to sit back and listen to what somebody got to say and you really hold on to their narrative,
Mhm.
But
You
I think
know,
that's
one of the challenges that Advent put that back up, put the plug back up. Advent Mingle might encounter is the association to Adventism simply because of the negative connotation associated with being single.
here's my issue, and before we land the plane, I've been at this for 14 years, right? And I know what it's like to be a single pastor for 12 years before getting married.
Wow,
And
you had to fight it
I'm,
all off, P. During. I'm
worse
sorry.
than fighting it off, I'm going to say there's therapy and counseling. Worse than fighting it off, when you start pastoring at 93, you have not done everything you wanted to do. I wasn't a man at 23.
yeah.
Mhm.
I was a pastor before I was a man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Mm.
so there is so much to the mindset of being single and a pastor or being Adventist. So instead of creating just the app, I created the community so people can talk, so people can, and it's not an open community, it's Adventists, because Adventists being taught by people who've been married and don't get it, it's terrible. And I'm gonna tell you this right now. I think one of the greatest abusers are church folks to single people, divorced people, widowed people, widowers or what have you. I think we abuse them more than ever before, and I don't want to go into that because that's a whole new thing. But when y'all talk about singleness and 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 how we're never that single person, I would be a better husband. I'd be a better father, especially to
Facts.
my daughter. I would be if I knew what it was like to be single.
But here's my thing, Paul. I didn't experience as a single woman having the church, push me into marriage. I had the opposite. I had the church being okay with me being single. And sometimes that happens because to be married, right, may mean now you are at my level.
Mm.
So as long as you remain single,
Mm, mm,
then
mm.
right, you're over
Access.
here and
Mm-hmm.
you're good and you're right. I can look down on you. But
I
it
got
was never done in a way that was seemingly hurtful or harmful. It was the praise of being single.
I
Mm-hmm.
got you. Look, family, we got 8 minutes, and I want to just say that it's always listen. Let me tell you something. A friend of mine hit me up about an hour before and said, "What are y'all talking about?" And I said, "I don't really know." And she said, "Do y'all really, seriously, do y'all really just talk?" Like, yeah, we just really talk. And I really believe that I've learned some things tonight. I'm telling you, I've learned some things tonight. That's why I hate y'all sometimes. You know that, right? You know,
Hey guys,
um,
Love
look.
you.
What?
you know,
We
it's
love you.
it's like
With the
being
love
in
of God.
therapy. It's like being in therapy. I talked to Pat. I said, "Yo, Pat, I'm about to do this thing. I don't know what it's gonna be about." But he's like, "Do y'all ever know what it's gonna be about?" I'm like, "Well, sometimes in my head." He's like, "Listen, by the time you get off, you're gonna be like, yo, Paul. I mean, yo, Pat. I had a great time. Let me tell you something. This is the question that has never been answered for me. Who, who are my friends?
Hmm.
I mean, Patrick and myself just had the conversation. Me driving home today. That and I'll say it this way to you all because I think I shared it maybe last year. But I have I have had pastors ask me, "Do not get into the race that they're running." I
So
I
can I
I
share, Paul?
let me say this there. But
Okay.
one of the issues is that my brother has like a best pastoral friend. It's
Mhm.
Patrick and this guy named Goodman, right? They're tight. And Pat says, "Paul, you need someone to talk to." I said, "I already have a pastoral friend. That's you, Pat." And I'm saying this to say that everything that I've heard tonight is the answer to the question that Wendy had asked me for 24 years, right? You, she would say to me, "You need to stop saying that person's your friend. You need to
Facts.
stop saying that that person's your friend, and you need to start defining what a good friend is and what a good friend is." And until tonight, even though that wasn't even the subject tonight, y'all, I'm sitting here and I'm saying to myself, "Man, that's deep," because I may never find that friend until I can define what friendships are.
I was just about to say that, P. How, can you really lock in on what a friend is before you've
But I've
actually
heard it tonight. I'm getting
But
that stinking book. I heard it tonight. I heard Leah. I mean, I'm seriously, I heard Leah. I heard Mia. I heard all you guys talk about this, Sade. I've heard you break down certain things where I'm like, if you go back tonight and you look through it, my face is just like, I can't even concentrate.
I mean,
Because-
because when you said that part about, this person has your bones, right? Those two young women who we were ace boon coons for years, right? The reason why I can trust them with my bones is because even though we're not in communication, we still had relation. And what I can respect is I can respect who you were at one point in my life, although that's not where you are today. And so I think a lot of times we look at friendships as something that's static when it's something that's very fluid. It's something that it evolves, it changes, people change, life change, and you may not be at the front of the bus.
Ooh.
That don't mean you're not still on the bus.
Mm.
Your position may change, but if either one of them called me right now and said something, I'm on my way.
But here's the thing, though, Sade. What I'm hearing from Paul is Paul don't feel safe enough
Yeah.
to even get on the bus. And so I would, encourage you to seek safety first.
That part.
Are you in a space or an environment that's unsafe to you?
Loyalty.
And sometimes we stay too long, and just like marriages, we stay in them too long. Other types of, you may be staying in an environment, right? Even on our job, you're talking about your job. When you talk about pastor friend, you're talking about your job. It ain't very many people on my job that I'm trying to really, for real, kick it with and hang with and be a bestie with.
Yeah.
You are my co-worker. There is a reason you don't feel safe because you may be looking in the wrong space for a friend.
Yeah.
You may have to go out.
Yo, loyalty and love at all times. I think it's Proverbs 17:17. A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. Right? And
That's
what
just
that says is that they are both present during both good and difficult times.
I got you. Mia, go ahead and let's land the plane.
And this is just a rhetorical question to ponder on. If we are not friends with ourselves, can we really be friends with others?
I think that's deep. Listen, I'm gonna just end this off differently. I love y'all.
You just hated us 10 minutes ago.
Leave me alone.
His bipolar ace of spades.
But Paul, before you say that, let me say this. I have had the privilege of being a true friend to an Adventist pastor.
Praise God.
It took about 3 years of us being in constant communication until he got comfortable. And one day he told me, he said, the only reason, and he trusted me with very, very vulnerable things. We don't talk now, but I have his bones, right? And he told me one day, he was like, Sade, the only reason why I can trust you is because I see how you handle other people. I can consistently, I'm looking at you and you are very consistent with how you handle people. So I think a lot of times, like Leah said, you safety first, right?
Okay, I like that.
There's safety, but there's also the idea that sometimes you have to look outside of what you're comfortable with to find friendships.
I got you.
My best friend and I couldn't stand her when I met her. But she was something that I was uncomfortable with. She was just different. But over time, I kept seeing, I was like, she's actually somebody I can be friends with. So I think you just kind of got to, like Leah said, that safety and being safe with yourself first, trusting yourself with your own bone.
I like that.
It's also important.
I like that. Before I got my finger on the end the stream button.
In the stream, nigga.
I mean, what are we talking about? Ask a final question. Around. Let's finish water.
Leah, you know we ain't rap tight.
All right. All right. All right. All right. Let's go around the horn. Let's go around the horn. Let's go
Hey,
around
like
the
I
horn.
got my finger on the.
Yeah, let's go around the horn. Leah, you first. What's a friend?
Pardon me?
What's a
I couldn't
friend?
hear you.
You first. What's a friend?
A friend to me is someone that will endure the test of time. I can go through it, right? It could be good times, bad times, uncertain times, absent times, and we still rock it out.
I like that. I like that. I see you in the green room, girl. I see you in the green room. Mia?
So all of what we've been talking about, but I want to add a new spin to this, and I want to call it.
I knew she would do that. Good.
I want to call it goodwill. Goodwill in a relationship to me means this genuine desire for the other person's good. So it's the attitude of the wishing well for someone and acting in ways that support their well-being, even when there is nothing to gain personally.
Ooh.
So you can think of a goodwill as the heart or the heart posture behind the relationship.
I got you. You're so clinical. See you in the green room.
See,
What?
What?
Wait.
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 Okay.
What's a friend, Sade?
You know, to me, a friend is somebody that's going to hold me accountable.
That part.
At this stage in my life, I realized that my friends are more concerned about my soul salvation than my comfort.
Damn.
And they will allow me to throw up and have my moments. And in the cleaning up process, it's like, but you need to do this. A friend is someone I can take direction from because I believe that they always have my best interest at heart.
Gotcha.
So for me, that's a friend.
Gotcha. We'll see you in the green room.
And I'll be silly next week.
Praise God. Yeah. Yeah. I will tell you because I know you coming this way.
Well, you're sure right.
I think I said it before. Loyalty and love at all times. And I'm not talking about the kind of love that always feel good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about the kind of love where you'll cuss me out and tell me you love me at the end of it, so that I know you're just not cussing me out to be vindictive, right?
Right.
Self-sacrifice. Honest counsel. I'm a firm believer in the text that there is safety in the multitude of counsel. I'm a firm believer in that. So honest counsel. Mutual edification, where we build each other up. Because sometimes I got a lot of negative self-talk, depending on how I see myself in connection with a particular situation, whether I'm bigger than the situation or whether the situation's bigger than me. And so I need somebody that's going to help me grow, because they say iron sharpens iron, right?
Sure.
Such that one person sharpen another. So that's that. I would say safety and trust. I want to know that when I talk my wild stuff to you, that it ain't going nowhere other than all Vegas rules apply. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes. Whatever happens in the scripted stays in the scripted.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. And then theology in the raw, where the counsel that you give me is Christ-centered. And it ain't no holding. You know what I'm saying? Like, because we boys, you're not going to soften it for me. You're going to tell me exactly what it is. I'm in that season of life, P, where the word means something to me. Like, I know it should because we Christian, right? But let's be honest. We know it in theology, but sometimes we don't. The practical part, you know what I'm saying, is the part we don't really So yeah, those are, if I had to name what would be a friend, it would be those things right there.
I got you. Well, for me, I realize no man is an island.
None.
I just don't know which ship you're rolling up with.
That part. Because doing what we do, like when, especially for you'll get it when I say this. Who encourages the encourager when the encourager needs encouraging?
Yeah.
Who pours into Paul when Paul is poured into everybody else?
Right. Or therapists.
Yep.
Look at like, you think of Leah, you think of, Terry, you think of
But
Sade.
even in those instances, when you go
Yeah.
to sit on their couch, you're going to sit on their couch. Like,
Yeah, but who's
who,
talking to?
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Who, you know what I'm saying? When we get down with the get down.
Yeah, right. At the end of the
And not
day,
feel judged, you know what I'm saying? Because I hold the position of pastor
or when you get up, you don't learn anything.
ooh.
We're gonna end this stream. So for all those who've been on with us, we don't even know if we're coming back on Monday, but I'll be here on Monday. I'm one of these.
I'll be here.
These knuckleheads will come back on Monday next week.